I want to go back to your guys' relationship. And if I understand correctly, you're
Yeah.
saying that as you stopped, at least in the relationship, stopped being so predominantly in your masculine energy.
Absolutely. I was an asshole. I'm just going to say it. Like, once I really started to understand how controlling I was, how directive I was, how many times that I just, cut off his ideas or thought that I knew better and wasn't setting us both up to win, man, I made tons of mistakes. Now I can look back and go, oh my God, what an idiot I was. But no one teaches us about this stuff until it's too late. And I honestly think there's a lot of couples that separate or get divorced because they've just never had these tools or no one's ever taught them about this.
Yeah, so this is something Lisa and I talk a lot about. We actually have a show now called Relationship Theory where we dive into this stuff, and we talk a lot. So my wife is very powerful, and to be clear on my side, I don't think women are weak and men are strong. I just think I had traditionally viewed in myself the moments where it was vulnerability and all that as a weaker way to approach.
No, and just to be clear for everyone watching, I didn't hear that from you. I just know that traditionally speaking, many, many women, again, myself included until fairly recently, have a mistaken notion culturally that the feminine is weak.
Yeah, 100%. And talking about having, like, we have roles in our relationship for sure, which I will say, certainly from a sexual energy perspective, she responds when I'm in definitely a more masculine energy, and I respond when she's in a more feminine energy, which I think is really, really interesting. And I've seen Tony talk about this, where people, guys, not being willing to step into that masculine energy and saying that almost certainly your woman wants that.
Yes.
And so I'd love to hear a woman's perspective on that, who clearly has some amazing insights in this. Like, what does that mean exactly? How can a guy that's listening now do that in a way? Because like when you were describing the masculine, when you had masculine energy, they weren't traits that you're saying you want him to adopt, right? To cut you off, to be short with you, or be an asshole. Like, that's not what you're saying.
Yeah.
So how can a guy step into their masculinity in a way that's received well, where the woman feels awesome about it?
Well, a couple of things that I'll say. A, I'm so not an expert on this. Like, I will happily share from my experience, but I think that some of the best teachers out there, Tony Robbins speaks into it. I think David Deida is absolutely incredible with a lot of his work. There's a lot more educated, experienced, better teachers on this than I am. But I'll say that there are 3 things that I learned, and actually I learned this from Tony, in terms of what men can do to support women staying in their feminine. So the first one is that women want to feel seen and noticed. So when your woman feels unseen, she's going to just honestly not be that happy. And so this is about a man stepping into his masculine, right? So noticing not only how she looks, but what she's doing. Like, God, honey, you've done so much today. I don't know how you keep all these things running. You're absolutely amazing. For a man to walk in and acknowledge how many plates most women spin, how hard she's working all the time, notice a detail about, you know what, God, your skin looks beautiful. Your smile is amazing. I think about whatever X, Y, or Z. It could be the tiniest, tiniest detail where you really see her. She'll come alive. You're noticing, you're in your masculine, you're picking out a detail. That's something that men can do very well, but to verbalize that has her lean into her feminine. So unseen is a thing that when men don't see their women, things go downhill. If we feel misunderstood, right? Like, you didn't actually listen to us. You go in and just try and solve our problem, shuts down the feminine, we get really angry, and we're gonna come back at you hard. Very, very hard. So when I hear snickering around here, I hear lots of laughs. These are the laughs of recognition, people. It's so true, absolutely. And so to be a strong masculine presence and to be there and to listen, to have her feel understood, that's one way that you can stay in your masculine, and it'll pull her into her feminine. And then unsafe is the third U. When a woman feels unsafe, she's gonna close down. So a lot of men sometimes express their anger or their upset, and a woman feels unsafe and she will close and pull away, or she'll get masculine to try and get herself to feel safe. So if a woman feels unsafe, that's going to put her into her masculine. And if a man can help a woman feel safe in every way, he's going to be in his masculine.
That's extraordinary, and I imagine that feeds into the kind of relationship that I'm guessing you have, which is high functioning, high communicating.
Yeah.
What are some tools that you guys use to keep the communication open, to be raw, to be real? How do you guys do that dance?
I think part of it is each person in the relationship has to take 100% responsibility for the state of the relationship at all times. So if I'm walking in and I see Josh and something in me doesn't feel connected or doesn't feel like our heart's connected, it's not his fault. It's got to be something that I'm doing. So I need to take 100% responsibility. Like, wow, was I in my head? Did I disconnect from my heart? Am I judging him? Am I trying to control him? So that way, the quality of the relationship is always in my hands. It's not his fault. It's on me. And he plays that same game. So in that way, if we're both playing that full out and at that level where the health and the connection in our relationship is each 100% our individual responsibilities, it's worked like magic. It's not perfect, but it really does work well. I would say the other tool that I would recommend for everyone to check out, have you ever heard of Getting the Love You Want?
No.
Oh my goodness, you guys are in for such a treat. So this amazing couple, Harville Hendrix, he wrote a book, I think it was back in the late 80s or early 90s, called Getting the Love You Want. It sold a bajillion copies. And Getting the Love You Want teaches you a few communication tools. One of them is about this thing called imago dialogue, and it is a relationship saver. I would say for anyone listening who is interested in exploring this, between understanding more about masculine and feminine energy and training that in yourself and with your partner, and having the imago dialogue toolkit, between those two things, I think you could heal practically anything.
Whoa. Can
Yeah.
you give us a quick thumbnail?
Yeah, so the imago dialogue is about listening to another without judging them and having them feel really, really heard. So the process goes like this. One person asks for an appointment. So I would say, hey, Tom, are you available now for an appointment? Because I really have to talk to you about something. And you would either say, you know what, Marie, I totally am. I have time. Or you'd say, you know what, I can't talk right now. Can we do it at 6 o'clock tonight because I have all these other things to focus on? So that's step one. You ask for an appointment. Then step two is one person is the sender and the other person is the receiver. So let's say I had something to say to you. There was just a little thing that maybe got me upset or, didn't feel so good, but I didn't want to unleash on you. I just wanted to talk about it. So I would start talking. I'd be like, Tom, gosh, when I came home and there were all these dishes in the sink, it made me feel like you really didn't see that I had such a big day. It was so hard on me, and it would have really been great if you would have taken care of that because you know how much it means to me. Your job would then be to mirror what I said to you and reflect it back in the exact words. So give it a try.
When you came home? Or say it exactly like?
No, say like, so Marie, let me see if I got that.
Okay. So Marie, let me see if I got that. When you came home and you saw that there were dishes in the sink, it made you feel like I didn't see how much you have to deal with. And those were as close as I'll get to the exact words.
That was really good. Keep going. You're doing awesome.
Then I'd be vamping. I got the vibe, but not the exact words.
Great. So you'd say, okay, I got that. Can you tell it to me again?
Okay, I got that. Can you tell it to me again?
So the piece that you missed was that it would have really been great for you to remember how important it is for me to have a clean kitchen. And again, we're riffing here.
Yeah, it's way close to home riffing, but
yes.
So
let me see if I got that.
So let me see if I got that. The part that I missed was how important it is to you to have a clean kitchen.
Yes, you got that. Perfect. So then you would say, is there more?
Is there more?
And then either I would say yes or no, but that is there more statement is like this magic statement, because for both people, usually there's other things that they want to say, but we never ask our partner. So if you said, is there more? And I had more, I'd be like, oh yeah, and X, Y, and Z, and then you'd mirror it back to me. The next step is about empathizing. It's about saying, okay, so Marie, and I'm going to play you for a moment. So if I heard you correctly, it really made you feel uncared for, and like I really didn't remember the request that you like a clean kitchen, and I didn't really see how much you had to do today. Did I get all that? And really get into the feeling and their perspective. And then I would say, yeah, you actually did really get all that. And then the final step is you can either wrap it up and say, I understand your perspective, and that really does make so much sense. So you're validating the other person's point of view. You may not agree with it, but you're validating who they are as a human and having them feel heard. And you close up this dialogue. And I will tell you, this has allowed Josh and I to back up out of some crazy shit shows so fast. where, you know, it could have been, you guys know those explosive arguments where then they last hours, if not days. You can use dialogue to handle things so quickly. And I feel bad here because I'm like teaching other people's material, but please go read the books or take the workshops because they're phenomenal.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And definitely don't feel bad. I think more people will go check it out because they at least now have an understanding.
Yeah. We did an entire show with them. They teach the dialogue on Marie TV and they kind of show you, and then please go get the book because it's the best like $12 you could ever spend.
Wow.